Hi guys, Ghetto Gandhi here, and today's video is all about settings and how you can make things that little bit easier for you. Now I know a lot of new players get really confused by all of the different settings on here. I mean, there are a lot of different settings and options that you can play around with and find what works perfectly for you. But I know when you're first starting out, especially coming from games like Call of Duty, where there's not that many settings, it can be really confusing and really daunting. So I've I've taken a few photos of the settings that I've got set at the moment, and I'm gonna reset them and go through changing what I've changed and explaining why I've changed it and showing you what it does as well. So let's get on with it. Okay. So controls first. Reset those. Okay. Wow. I didn't realise these were the basic settings. Okay, so I have my vehicle stick sensitivity to 40%, soldier stick sensitivity I think was at 50%, and the soldier zoom sensitivity. This is really handy because I find when I'm aiming down the sights I tend to twitch on the analog sticks, so I turned this all the way down to, I think it was 55. I've got pictures here. I didn't think to get the pictures up before I started here. Yeah, at 55. What other settings? Yeah. So all of the sensitivity is all down to your own personal preference, but I do recommend turning the soldier zoom sensitivity down. That's just my personal opinion. Yeah. Okay, let's go on to the next ones. Control schemes. I always have the advanced or veteran setting on here, just because when I'm aiming sometimes I tend to click the right analog stick and it's a pain in the ass just knifing in midair, and yeah, it is so annoying, and it got me killed on Call of Duty more times than I care to remember. I also have vehicle driver buttons at veteran, which makes it more like driving a car on any other game where you use the triggers to accelerate and brake. In fact, the settings are pretty similar to Grand Theft Auto, whereas the fire button's on L1 and you use the two triggers to drive about and that. What other ones have I changed? Pilot buttons, I have those on veteran as well for the same reason. But most of the controls are all down to your own personal preference. Now, stick aiming acceleration. I haven't actually seen anyone really taking much notice of this. Let's see if I can demonstrate it. Okay. So that's how my player moves now. You notice how he goes slow at first and then it sort of whips round. Yeah. It's slow to begin with, but then if I turn that off, it's going to be instant response. Turn that all the way down to 0. Now it will really throw you off to begin with because you'll be used to all that stick aiming acceleration, and it will throw you off a bit to start with. But notice how responsive that is now. And you turn it a little bit, it's really good. See, you can almost now I'm trying to snap onto the windows. I can't, but you get the idea. It's a much more responsive thing. You'll shoot someone there, shoot someone there, shoot someone there. It's very instant response. And obviously with the auto aim, if there was enemies about, it would snap onto them. What's the next one? Oh, there he is, Savage Tony. Okay, so the next thing on the list are these dead zones. The center dead zones on your analog sticks. Again, all down to personal preference. All of these settings are all down to what you want them at. I can only advise you, show you what I've changed, and then that at least that highlights the ones for you to um, play around with. Let's get my pictures back up. Okay. I've set these to 15%, just because then you don't have to move the analog sticks quite as much. And these as well, the input thresholds. At the moment, I need to pull the trigger this most of the way before it starts shooting. Now if I change that setting, change that input threshold, it will be hardly any pressure on that trigger before it starts shooting. I set this to 50% because I didn't want it at 0%, because then I'm going to try it with the L2 because I have a theory that you, yeah, 5%. If it was at 0%, you would literally just be aiming down the sights and shooting all day long with nothing you can do about it. I'm going to see what it's like at 5%. There's another randomer joined. Fuck off. Okay, that actually hasn't changed it as much as I thought. But I'm still going to change it back to 50% because that's what I'm comfortable with. There we go. Now these soldier zoom sensitivities, I haven't changed any of them. But if you play assault class a lot, with the most zoom you can have on that, I think is 2, unless the optical weapons have got a higher zoom rate. I don't really use the opticals. If you notice you're really good with assault, but then you go to, say, the medic class, where you've got higher zoom levels, or yeah, the medic snipers, say, and you find you're twitchy, just turn the percentage of sensitivity down, because everything else will stay the same. Just say, like with the sniper rifles, do everything from 5% up, 5 times zoom up, and then you'll only have, yeah, it will help you stop twitching about with the scopes, because I've noticed the more I'm zoomed in, the easier it is for me to twitch all over the screen. But I haven't changed any of those. I tend to use the assault class a lot. I would use the medic class a lot more if there was guns I could get comfortable with. I've tried the Seirogotti trench. That is probably the better of the medic weapons. I'm really looking forward to the Lookout Pass DLC. No, that's not what the DLC is called. It's in the name of Tsar. Sorry. I'm looking forward to that because they look like they're bringing out a good medic class gun. Just double check I haven't changed anything else. Uniform soldier aiming. Oh no, that's on video sense. Yes. Turn uniform soldier aiming off if you change your point of view, which is my next point. Sorry, turn it on if you adjust your field of view. What the fuck is he doing? He just ran me over. How rude. Okay, so next then. Is it in gameplay? No, it's not. Video. Okay. Field of view. I have mine set to 80, which I will reset these and show you what the difference is. Okay. So you can see us zooming out a hell of a lot. I've gained a lot of visibility to my sides. Obviously, if you're a long range player, don't do this. I'm not going to have my brightness quite as high this time, because I've noticed on the bright maps it is quite glary. I just hadn't got round to changing it. that's probably going to mess me up on the night maps, but I don't care. Okay, so yeah, I've got that set to 80, and then my vehicle third person field of view is at 70, which you obviously can't see that at the moment, but when you're in a tank it gives you a lot more. Actually, I'm going to change that to 80 as well, because I've noticed I don't get much visibility around the side of my tank in third person. But that is definitely one, as you can see, you get a lot more view, like your peripheral vision's a lot better. Yes, fair enough, it makes it harder to spot enemies that are further away, but it's I prefer it a lot just for tight engagements. Aim down sight field of view. I'll try and demonstrate this. Okay, so zooming in, doesn't zoom in, zooms in a fair bit, but not the most. Now let's turn that off. Oh, it is off. Okay, yeah, leave that off. I'm not entirely sure of the difference that the motion blur makes. I think it just makes it a little bit crisper, and that's blurring quite a bit. I'm going to change that down. Okay, 30. Let's see what that's like. Yeah, that's better. What is this guy doing? It's literally just me and him. Where are you going?
Let's frog it.
I want to jump over you. Yeah. Whoa! What was that? Just launched myself away from it. No, dude. No, dude. I'm not going on adventures with you. Ah, what the hell. Drive me around and I'll record this video. Okay, yeah. Do some more settings. Okay, let's go to the gameplay settings. Now, show HUD. Yep. Yeah, keep that. I have this. Oh, I haven't reset it. But okay. Reset. Now, I've got my crosshair blue because found this is one of the more one of the lesser common colours. I know it sounds weird, but when you're pointing your gun around, it's one of the lesser seen colours, unless you're shooting the French in their little blue suits. What else? The hit indicators. I've changed my headshot colour because I found it's a really good way of being able to tell how much damage an enemy's got left in a split second. You see a couple of greens pop up and you know you've hit them in the head a couple of times, so it's only going to take a couple more bullets to hit them. Damage based shape, again for the same reasons, you can then tell like how much damage you've done to them. These minimap settings as well. I can't remember what I had right now. Where is it? Okay. Flight zoom radius 250. Yep. I'm actually going to increase that to 300. Because, yeah, I've noticed I can't see much when I'm using planes. Vehicle zoom radius. I'm going to change that to 100. Even though it was at 75. So it's the same as on foot. And minimap size I have 120%. Just so it's a bit easier to see. And show all stationary weapons, just that's my own personal preference. I very rarely use stationary weapons unless there's an airship and an anti-air gun around. What else have I changed? I am slightly regretting resetting all of my settings because it's confused the hell out of me. Camera shake scale, I've turned that all the way down just because when an explosion goes off nearby and you're shooting at someone, you don't want to like it to shake so much that you can't see them. So yeah, that's why I've turned it off. Um, what else did I turn off? Oh, forgot to take a photo of this page. Oh no, I didn't. No, I didn't. Don't worry. It's all good. There we go. If I was using mouse and keyboard, I would not use these. But I am really twitchy on analog sticks. Yeah, I can tend to shoot at people and then just twitch and shoot at the ceiling or shoot their foot or shoot a teammate. It can be pretty awful. One thing I've learnt to do though is to, once you're aiming relatively close to an enemy, is aim with left analog stick by strafing side to side. This is a really, really good way of keeping your gun steady and not twitching up to the ceiling, and also countering recoil by pulling down ever so slightly on the analog stick. Yeah, that's helped me tremendously. Yeah, I think that's most of it. I wanted to try and keep this video short and try and cram as much information in it as possible. But I think the main ones to do are the field of view. That's helped me incredibly. Also, I've noticed that by changing the L2 and R2 thresholds, that has given me a slight advantage. Like the amount of times I've got into firefights with people and like I've ended up dying with them having 1 health. Now, if I'd have had that split second advantage, I know it's only once in a blue moon it happens, but if I'd have had that split second advantage, I would have finished them off. And also the aiming acceleration. It really threw me off the first few games. I did awful. I got like probably about 10 kills and 30 deaths. But then once I got used to it, I've been getting 2.5 kill death ratios most games. And which is unusual for me because I'm very hit and miss with this game. Once I start getting annoyed, I start trying to rush in, and that's just when I get killed. Like, I give all these tips and tricks, and like I don't follow them myself sometimes, and it really annoys me because I know they're good tips. Like, don't rush into things, staying in cover, like limiting the angles of attack. But when I get frustrated with the game, it all goes out the window, and I just go on a marathon. Yeah, I hope this video has helped today. Hopefully you can play around with your settings, find something that works for you. And a lot of people say, oh, like I keep twitching on the analog sticks. That's quite a common one. Oh, I can't aim with the snipers because it's moving around too fast. Well, hopefully this video has sort of helped you overcome those things. And oh, I'm sideways. Oh shit, the hell? Okay, yeah, thanks for watching guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe and leave a comment below. This is Ghetto Gandhi signing out.